Welcome to Asian ID. Once, the name Wang H was almost synonymous with guaranteed success in the short drama industry, wasn't it? Whenever his face appeared on a poster, audiences expected overflowing romance, explosive chemistry, and the kind of emotional intensity that could dominate social media overnight, didn't they? Fans were still drowning in the lingering sweetness of his pairing with Guo Yuxin in Meteor, replaying those lingering gazes and emotionally charged scenes as though they were addicted to a dream they could not escape, weren't they? Then suddenly, like a thunderclap cutting through a calm sky, one explosive trending topic shattered the illusion completely, didn't it? Wang H is greasy, the internet declared. And the phrase spread across entertainment forums with terrifying speed, didn't it? Even more shocking was the poll that followed, because among countless handsome short drama actors, he was voted into the top ranks of the greasiest male gods list, landing in second place as if the public had collectively turned against someone they once adored, hadn't they? How could a man praised as a ratings guarantee become the target of such widespread ridicule almost overnight? Could anyone explain that contradiction easily? The answer seemed to emerge from two controversial projects, Suni Dijiuhunchang and Shazang Huan, where admiration slowly transformed into exhaustion, didn't it? No one could deny Wang H achievements, could they? Within only 2 years, he had starred in nearly 50 short dramas, many surpassing hundreds of millions of views, turning him into one of the industry's most profitable faces, hadn't he? His projects generated massive heat on streaming platforms. His fan base expanded relentlessly, and mainstream media even began inviting him onto larger stages, as though the short drama world had finally discovered one of its brightest kings, hadn't it? But fame is a dangerous mirror, because the brighter the spotlight becomes, the more brutally every flaw begins to show itself, doesn't it? In Suni Dijiuhunchang, audiences immediately noticed changes in his appearance, didn't they? To fit the role, he appeared to gain weight, yet under unforgiving close-up shots, the fuller face, blurred jawline, and carefully styled oily hair no longer projected menace but instead created a strangely suffocating image, didn't they? Viewers cruelly joked that his face looked as oily as his hairstyle, and beneath the mockery was the deeper disappointment of people watching an idealized fantasy suddenly crack apart, wasn't there? Yet appearance alone was never the real issue, was it? The deeper criticism struck directly at his acting itself. Because audiences began accusing him of performing every emotion through the same recycled formula, didn't they? A frown, an intense stare, a lowered voice, a sudden lean toward the heroine, and then another prolonged gaze that seemed designed to force chemistry into existence rather than naturally create it. Wasn't that the pattern people started recognizing everywhere? Some viewers mocked him by saying he used one expression for 70 entire episodes, and the frightening part was how many people agreed with that statement, wasn't it? His chemistry with Hae-in became another battlefield of criticism, because even beautifully staged romantic scenes collapsed the moment the two actors interacted directly, didn't they? Their eye contact felt rehearsed instead of instinctive, their body language appeared stiff, and audiences described them as two strangers desperately pretending to belong inside the same love story, didn't they? The intimacy scenes caused the strongest backlash of all, because what should have felt passionate instead made many viewers visibly uncomfortable, didn't it? Inside cars, on sofas, in dimly lit close-ups, Wang H intensified his breathing, tightened his expression, and stared with such overwhelming force that audiences no longer saw romance but aggression. Didn't they? Some comments even claimed the scenes resembled harassment more than affection, and once viewers begin associating romance with discomfort, doesn't the illusion collapse completely? If the modern drama exposed cracks in his image, then the costume drama Shazang Huan shattered them wide open, didn't it? Plain an emperor should have elevated his aura, yet instead the heavy crown and elaborate styling magnified every sign of exhaustion on his face, making him appear older, heavier, and emotionally frozen, didn't they? Audiences joked that he looked less like a man in love and more like an emperor reviewing official documents, and the comments spread wildly because people instantly recognized the truth hidden inside the humor, didn't they? Whether the character was jealous, heartbroken, angry, or deeply in love, his facial expressions barely changed, as though every emotion had been trapped behind the same unmoving mask, hadn't they? Even the countless kissing scenes failed to rescue the drama, because instead of emotional tension, viewers saw repetition so mechanical that people sarcastically compared it to a dental assembly line, didn't they? What made the criticism especially painful was that these failures did not come from a lack of talent, did they? Wang H was professionally trained, carried himself well on camera, delivered clear dialogue, and possessed naturally expressive eyes capable of conveying restrained pain and emotional fragility, didn't he? In fact, his greatest strength had always been atmosphere itself, Because few short drama actors could create longing and heartbreak through silence as effectively as he once did, could they? That very strength, however, slowly became his prison. Didn't it? The industry rewarded his formula repeatedly, so he continued reproducing it across role after role until audiences could predict every movement before it happened, couldn't they? Whether he played a modern CEO or an ancient emperor. The same emotional rhythm returned again and again like a copied script trapped inside different costumes, didn't it? The short drama industry itself accelerated this repetition mercilessly, because platforms demanded instant emotional stimulation within seconds in order to satisfy algorithms and impatient viewers, didn't they? Subtlety became less important than immediate attraction, layered characterization gave way to exaggerated intensity, and actors were pushed toward becoming efficient emotional products instead of evolving artists, weren't they? In that environment, Wang H thrived brilliantly at first, because his atmosphere-driven acting style perfectly matched the industry's hunger for fantasy and emotional overload. Didn't it? But when every project requires the exact same fantasy, doesn't even the most effective technique eventually begin to rot from overuse? Meanwhile, audiences themselves were changing. Weren't they? Viewers who once accepted endless sweet cliches had begun craving stronger scripts, fresher storytelling, and characters that felt genuinely human rather than algorithmically manufactured, hadn't they? The success of more emotionally grounded short dramas proved that audiences no longer worship empty romantic gestures. Didn't it? Ironically, Meteor itself became evidence of what Wang H was still capable of under the right circumstances, because with a stronger director, a more suitable script, and genuine chemistry alongside Guo Yuxin, his quieter and more delicate acting suddenly felt alive again, didn't it? And perhaps that is why the criticism surrounding him feels so intense now. Because audiences are not attacking a hopeless actor but mourning the version of him they believe still exists somewhere beneath the repetition, aren't they? Maybe the word Gracie was never truly about appearance at all. Was it? Maybe it was the audience's desperate way of saying they were tired of watching an actor repeat the same emotions without growth, tired of seeing desire performed like choreography instead of feeling, and tired of witnessing potential slowly trapped inside a machine built entirely around numbers. Wasn't it? After all, what is more tragic than an actor who once made people feel something real, only to become a shadow endlessly imitating his own past success? Could there be anything sadder than that? Thank you for watching the video. See you again.